Okay, she warned us. All right. Hi, everyone. Okay. So yeah, thank you everyone for coming, despite all the little technical issues we just had at the very beginning there. Yeah, so for the launch party for my debut novel, which is The Ghosts of Thorwald Place. So before we get started, I do want to acknowledge that I'm living in Saskatoon, which is Treaty 6 territory and homeland of the Métis. And I want to pay my respects to the First Nations and the Métis ancestors of this land. So before we get started, a little bit of housekeeping. I think I gave my mom a tutorial on Zoom, but basically there's a couple of things you might want to know about. So there's a little speech bubble at the very bottom, and that is the chat button. And if you click on that, you'll be able to see the chat along the side. And I will be putting a couple of links in there throughout the night for different activities. And then when it comes up, if you can't find it, that's fine. You can just ask. And there's one other thing as well. So on the top right-hand side, there is a kind of like a grid of 9 little squares, and it says view. If you click on that, it actually lets you switch up the way that you're viewing people. So if you want to be in gallery mode, that will show everybody as a tile. Or if you want to be in speaker mode, it'll show you whoever is speaking at that time. Yeah, and one other thing I want to say is just keep yourself muted throughout, except for when you're intentionally wanting to speak to us. All right. So tonight we have a lot of fun activities planned, and there's a few contests, and I have prizes for everyone that I put on cue cards, even though I have them on slides. Don't know. So I'm going to be opening with a very short reading from my novel, but first, before we even do that, I do want to show the trailer that my sister made for the novel, because it summarizes the story in a very succinct manner that I probably wouldn't be able to do if I was trying to summarize it out loud. So I'm just going to share my screen right now. And share sound. Always defaults to not sharing sound. Okay. All right. Can everybody see my screen all right? Good. I'm just going to move this to the side just in case.
I think he's going to kill me.
All right. I didn't want to ruin the little jump scare at the end, but I got too excited. Anyways. All right. That was made by my super talented sister, who also wrote the song that was in the trailer, which is really awesome. I love it so much. I keep asking her to send me the song because I just need to listen to it on repeat while I'm at work. Anyways, yeah, some chats coming up. Sweet. Okay. So so the Ghosts of Thorwald Place is my book baby, and I'm really excited to finally be releasing it into the world. And I first had the idea of the story in a dream where I was a ghost that was tethered to the elevator of my apartment building, and I kept trying to travel into the adjacent apartments, but every time the elevator moved, I was yanked back into the elevator. And I used this story idea to brainstorm, and I was inspired quite a bit by one of my favorite Hitchcock films, which is Rear Window. And then I wrote the very first draft of this novel during National Novel Writing Month during November of 2015. So it was I wrote the first 50,000 words and shelved it for quite a bit after that. But it's gone through a lot of drafting and 3 different titles since then. And I couldn't be more proud of the final product. A lot of people view writing a novel as a very solitary affair, and it kind of is at the very beginning. Because honestly, if I hadn't just moved to Guelph to do my co-op where I didn't really know anybody and I had nothing to do in my free time in November, I definitely wouldn't have even bothered to try to give NaNoWriMo a try. I honestly didn't think that I could write even that much, let alone write that much in a month. But I probably wouldn't even have tried to write this book if I hadn't given it a shot. And I've done NaNoWriMo every year since, writing first drafts of new novels that I don't generally take a look at after that. But so while they do say that it takes a village to raise a child, it definitely takes a small army to publish a book. And I wanted to give a special shout out to Helga, who's my wonderful editor. And I think I saw her just a little while ago. She made this novel into what it is now. And I also wanted to give a shout out to the gorgeous cover, who was designed by Mariana Pell with Camcat Books. And I just love that cover so much. I sometimes just sit and stare at it, which is creepy, I know, but whatever, I'm admitting it, so that's cool. And while I'm doing my thank yous, I guess I also want to thank my mom for supporting me and always being my sounding board and basically listening to all my weird ideas whenever I have a story idea and not making me shut up and kicking me out. I also really want to thank my beta readers, which are Alexandra, Grace, and Amanda, and they're here tonight, for reading an early draft of the novel and giving me your thoughts and not too much judgment on the story. All right, so I think, and I also want to thank like everybody else too. I mean, I've noticed quite a few members from my Windsor writing group have come tonight, which is really exciting to see you. Yeah, so I guess what I'm going to do is I'm going to just launch into a reading, and then after that, we're going to do some fun activities. So I had a hard time trying to decide like what part of the book that I wanted to read from, because I know a lot of you have already read the very beginning because I promoted the heck out of it when it was posted in Suspense magazine. But I decided, and I know that my publisher, Camcat, has been posting the 3rd chapter quite a bit. So I looked through and I decided I wanted to read, this is gonna sound weird, but just read you chapter 6, which is, doesn't have any spoilers or anything in it, aside from the fact that Rachel's already dead. So she's been dead for a few days. And she's she's observing a character for the very first time. And yeah, so I guess I'm just gonna read this. I'm gonna lean back a little bit in my chair. Okay. Everyone can hear me all right, right? I'm assuming that if you couldn't, you would have said something by now. Okay, great, I see a couple of thumbs up. All right, so chapter 6. The moon had already staked her claim in the midnight sky when a strange man returns home to his 2nd floor apartment. According to the tags on his suitcase, he just got off a flight from Las Vegas. He looks vaguely familiar, but I can't quite put a finger on where I've seen him before. I've never spotted him around the building, or I would remember, since I'd always taken care to record and scrutinize my interactions with fellow residents, especially the peculiar-looking ones. And this one is definitely peculiar-looking. He is tall, well over 6 feet, and reed thin. He looks to be in his late 50s, but his face bears no lines. His skin is loose and transparent. He reminds me of one of Madame Tussauds' waxwork creations, one that was left in the heat for so long it has begun to melt. A tiny silver skull pierces the top of his right ear. His left arm is tattooed from wrist to elbow with whirling designs, Celtic knots interwoven with Russian characters. The tattoo looks like a loose silk sleeve, gently clinging to bone. He is bald, without a single hair on his head or arms. Despite the late hour, there is no stubble shadowing his chin. His height and extreme emaciation make him all sharp angles. Every movement slices through the air around him. By contrast, Elias, the building's concierge, appears short and round, though he is of average height and build. Elias trails behind this bizarre man, trying not to appear out of breath while dragging the large suitcase. They arrive at apartment 204, which is directly across the hall from my elevator. Elias produces a key and holds open the door. A bony finger flips the light switch, but the room remains cloaked in darkness. The walls are painted a matte black, and the furniture seems to have been carefully selected so not even a smidgen of color appears anywhere in the room. It's all black. I follow them into the belly of the beast. "Where would you like your suitcase, Mr. Utkov?" Elias asks. He doesn't seem to be at all perturbed by the apartment's interior design. Maybe he's used to Mr. Utkov's idiosyncrasies, or perhaps he's paid too much to care. On the bed, Mr. Utkov waves a hand. Elias hurries to the bedroom and deposits the luggage on the bed. Mr. Utkov tips him handsomely on his way out, which only seems fair because it's well after midnight, and I know that Elias is up and at his station by 6 a.m. Elias, who is ordinarily impeccably groomed, is wearing wrinkled slacks, and the buttons of his shirt are mismatched. I've noticed that he's been less presentable lately, and I begin to wonder about his personal life. It seems that everyone in this building has a persona that they reveal to the public, but their true selves only surface when they are alone, when they do not know that they are being watched. When I was alive, I must have come across as aloof and unfriendly, when in reality I was hiding and terrified. I never realized until now that there were so many others hiding their own truths. Mr. Utkov heads into his office, which is also entirely black. All the darkness can't be good for his eyesight. This might explain the thin red rims that circle his sunken eyes. He sits in his plush leather chair and pulls out a cell phone. He puts it on speakerphone, rapidly dialing his voicemail, and listens to his messages. "Alexei, it's Carlos. Let me know how your pitch went in Vegas. I know they're going to love you, but give me a call when you get a chance." So, Alexei made a pitch in Vegas. I study him. He does look like he might have some kind of novelty show. I can easily picture him swallowing a sword or slicing a scantily clad woman in pieces in front of a hushed crowd. The second message plays. "Is this Mr. Rasputin? I was hoping to reach you. A colleague of yours gave me your number. I couldn't make it to your finale show, and I was really disappointed. I would like to make an appointment for a seance. My wife died a few months ago, and I haven't been able to contact her. The price is a little steep, though, but I'm hoping that we can negotiate." Alexei presses delete, muttering under his breath about idiots getting his personal number. Rasputin. Now I remember how I know him. He's the cable television medium who contacts lost loved ones for a fee. Luke, my best friend, is obsessed with this show. He watches it every night, and he would call me at least twice a week to rant about how mysterious Rasputin is and tell me about the people he's helped to move on from their grief. It was amusing how Luke was torn between believing in the supernatural and thinking that Rasputin was some kind of eccentric genius. Despite how adamant Luke was about how it's the best show on television, I've never caught an episode. Rasputin's show was canceled last month. To say that Luke was upset would be putting it mildly. I'd almost caved and invited him over to my apartment. Almost. I'd had no idea that Rasputin lived in my building, a medium, right here within my reach. I embraced the first glimmer of hope I felt long since before my death. I open my mouth to speak, but I am torn back into the elevator. "No," I punch. I punch my fist through the wall, but my hand simply slides through without a sound or the slightest bit of resistance. I feel nothing but the helplessness that threatens to overwhelm me. Just as I was about to communicate with someone for the first time since my death, I'm pulled away. What did I ever do in my life to deserve this torment and death? The elevator doors glide open to reveal the basement corridor, but no one is there. There is absolutely nothing more irritating than someone who presses the button for the elevator, then decides to take the stairs. While this was just a mild inconvenience when I was alive, now it is much more than a nuisance. I need to get up to the second floor. I have to try to communicate with Alexei or Rasputin or whatever his name is. If I can talk to him, maybe he can help me figure out what I'm supposed to be doing with my afterlife. There has to be more to death than just riding the elevator up and down for all eternity. I turn to the elevator panel. I gather all my strength and focus on pressing the 2 button. It doesn't light up. I try again, nothing. Frustration bubbles up inside me. This is not my first attempt at moving the elevator, but the disappointment cuts through me just as strongly as if it were. If I could move the elevator, my life, well, death, would be so much easier. The elevator doors open again. I'm still on the basement level, but no one is waiting. No one is there to push the button. The elevator doors don't close. They stay open well past the time they should have defaulted to shut. This isn't normal. With a shiver, I realize that I haven't been down to the basement since my death. The elevator rarely idles down here. I poke my head out the yawning doorway, but no one is in sight. I laugh at the absurdity of it all. I have nothing to fear. I'm dead. Even if the man who killed me returns to the scene of the crime, he can't hurt me anymore. The worst has already happened. I step off the elevator and into the narrow hallway. The doors creep shut behind me. There is nothing in the basement but storage units, the fitness center, and the basement level parking garage. I dip my head through the wall to peer into the garage. There isn't a soul in sight. Before I turn away, I catch a glimpse of my battered and dusty Toyota, unused and neglected for so long that I almost feel sorry for whoever has to deal with it. I return inside and float across the hall to peek through the glass window of the fitness center's door. It's empty. I almost enter the fitness center, but something keeps me from leaving the narrow hallway. I turn back. It seems different somehow. The glamour and vitality that is present in the rest of the building is noticeably lacking down here. The dim overhead light casts stark, angular shadows in the corners. I don't remember the basement being this shabby when I was alive. The carpet is a faded rust color, the busy paisley wallpaper is yellowing in the corners. The ornate bronze wall sconces are dull. The nearest light bulb flickers. The faint scent of something stale tickles my nose. At the start, I realize that this is the first time I've smelled anything since my death. Where is the scent coming from? Everything looks faded from the other side, hazy and surreal, but this looks different. Run down, frayed, uncared for. My eyes are drawn to the door at the end of the hall. I don't know why. I don't hear anything. I don't see anything, but I know that someone is in there. I drift down the hall, not conscious of the decision to move. I plunge into the room beyond the metal door. The storage room is dark, with only the red tinged glow of the exit sign illuminating the space. I stand in an even narrower corridor, lined with the large chicken wire enforced enclosures. The smell is stronger here, mold with a sour metallic scent. The shadowy outlines of the contents of each storage unit border the path before me. I move deeper into the center, following the path, traveling its twists and bends. Most of the storage units are full, stuffed haphazardly with boxes, oversized Christmas decorations, and the occasional set of winter tires. A bald and naked store mannequin with a painted face leans toward me on my left. Who would even keep that? I shake my head and continue to scan the shadows until my eyes settle on a dark form huddled in the corner against the furthest wall. It looks like a small child standing in the corner as punishment. I take a tentative step forward. The scent grows stronger. As I edge closer, the figure's details come into focus. It's a little girl wearing a red and white gingham dress. Her long brown hair is tied back into two messy braids. She still faces the corner, swaying slightly in her petite Mary Jane shoes. There's something different about her. She isn't blurred and indistinct like the rest of the world. She is crystal clear. I inch closer still until there is less than 2 feet separating us. She doesn't seem to sense me, not like I sense her. What am I doing? I should leave. I should get out of here. Instead, I say, hello? Inhumanly fast, she spins around, but her feet never move. Just now, I notice that she's floating several inches above the ground, like me. She looks up. I lurch backward, gagging at the sight, coupled with the realization that the overwhelming stench was rotting flesh. She has no eyes. Her face has 2 empty sockets where her eyes should be, 2 large gaping holes carved deep into her skull. Not a moment too soon, I feel the tug of the elevator. For once, I welcome it. There you go. So that was chapter 6, randomly, of my story. Now I freaked myself out, which is great. So the book is still, so I still have my pre-order offers still going on just for today only. And I don't know if any of you have seen it on social media, but I also extended it internationally because I had a few people asking me about that. So it's internationally today only. You can get the free swag if you fill out the form. And actually I could include the links here. I should do that. But like it's totally optional. I'm just putting it in the chat there, and I know a lot of you have already gotten copies. All right, so now that I've freaked myself out, let's do some spooky trivia. So the first activity of the day, okay, I have my slides and I haven't even been opening them. Okay, but let me go to the slides. Okay. So I'm going to share my screen and I'm I'm going to be using an app called Kahoot. I know some of you have used it before, and I know some of you may not have, but basically it's going to give you, I'm going to just share my screen and it's going to show you a link to go to with a code to access the slides. And I've made it so that you can actually easily do it on Zoom. You don't have to use a second device. So let me just share my screen. So you're going to want to go to your browser to, I was like, what's that sound? It's the music. Okay, let me just share my screen and you'll see what I'm talking about. Okay. Did everyone see, I guess, that? And I don't know if this box is in the way at all. Can people see it or is it invisible for you? Because I know with WebEx, it's really annoying. Okay. Okay, so if you go to www.kahoot.it, I'll just copy and paste that into the chat. So you can copy that link if you'd like. And then there's the game pin, which I can also paste in if you want to copy and paste it. I'll wait just a little bit. Yeah, and it's kind of, I guess some of you using code words, but it's going to be hard for you to win if you're using a code word to claim your prize, I mean. So whoever Goober is, I don't know. It's too late. You'll just have to admit that you're Goober later if you win. I'm just gonna give you another 20 seconds. And if anybody's having trouble, just pop a question in the chat. Oh, it's your cat's name, okay. So your cat's gonna win the prize if you win, you know that. It's not, if you win the signed book, it's gonna be personalized for Goober. Like it's your own fault. I'm just kidding. Okay. All right, I think that's probably everyone. So speak up now in the chat if you still need time. Oops. What's that? Okay, so I'm going to start. So you don't have to be looking at. So I'm going to continue to share the screen just in case people aren't participating, so they can actually see what the questions are. But the rest of you can just stay on your page that has the questions and go from there. So you don't have to try to split screen or anything like that. All right, let's get started. Spooky trivia. Oh, I should add, most of the questions are related somehow. Okay, you'll see. All right, Toronto. So it looks like quite a few people actually got that. That was the only question that was actually specific to my novel. Don't worry. A lot of the questions are just really novel adjacent. You'll see. All right, great. So we'll move on to the next question. Copy Star, nice. Wow, a lot of you got that one. That was a tricky one. All right, moving on to the next one. Which Hitchcock film is the Ghosts of Thorwald Place inspired by? I'm going to actually read them out loud for you. Nice. If you noticed at the very beginning, I accidentally said it. And I was like, oh, well, it's a throwaway, but some people didn't catch that. Okay. Next question. Who is the author of The Haunting of Hill House? Ooh, that was a trickier one. Shirley Jackson. I did put Susan Hill. She wrote The Woman in Black, which is another terrifying book. Who has not played a ghost in a movie? Great. Yep, Kristen Bell. So B, a lot of people said Nicole Kidman, and I don't know if you want me to spoil it for you, but it is a twist in a pretty popular horror movie that she's in. And Bruce Willis, it's another pretty popular horror movie. And then Patrick Swayze is in Ghost. Is it? I don't know. I don't want to ruin it for you, but those movies are fairly old. So the Nicole Kidman is the others, and Bruce Willis is Sixth Sense. In what year was the Ouija talking board released commercially? Awesome. So the answer is 1891. What theme park ride places guests in an elevator that free falls based on the Twilight movie? Awesome. Yep. Tower of Terror. Get too excited. I want to see the rankings. Due to suspicions of the name being cursed, which Shakespeare play is referred to by actors as the Scottish play? Great. Yep. Macbeth. Jill and Stella. You're on fire. A streak with 6 correct answers. Nice. What is the highest grossing ghost movie of all time, according to the Guinness Book of World Records? A lot of people guess Ghostbusters. Interesting. It's The Sixth Sense. In what country did the largest group of people gather dressed as ghosts? A gathering wasn't fast enough. Ireland. Ooh, that was a tricky one. That's interesting that I tricked a lot of people with Barcelona. All right, next question. Which Alfred Hitchcock movie is being loosely adapted into a video game slated for December 2021 release? And guess who's super excited about this? Ooh, interesting all around. So it's Vertigo. Oh, did it not? All right, number 12. The 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo featured Vincent Price and had a different ghost every episode. In what year was it released? Great. 1985. So, which children's book, based largely on folktales, was adapted to the big screen in 2019? Awesome. Scary stories to tell in the dark. According to a Ranker poll with over 4,000 participants, what is the scariest book of all time? Great. Actually, a lot of people guessed that. Interesting. I would have guessed The Shining. Sure. Okay. Ooh, Sandy's on fire now. All right. Next question. In what year did Alicia Otis sell his first elevator? Of course, there has to be tons of elevator questions. Ooh. The least. That's because I put that as the lowest so that I would trick people. So evil. Okay. This iconic Gothic revival mansion in Toronto is notorious for its ghosts and hauntings. Great, Casa Loma. Coffee Star's making a comeback. Good. What classic horror film does not feature Lon Chaney Jr.? He is not in The Invisible Man, and that question is relevant because the protagonist's cat is named Lon Chaney Jr. Right, Jill and Stella still in the lead. Coffee Star is making a comeback. 4 correct answers in a row. All right, what is the name Thorwald Place inspired by? Ooh, I tricked people with my, yeah, it's the name of the villain in Rear Window. Lars Thorwald is the bad guy. Next question. Which movie does not feature real life paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren? All right. Insidious is the answer. Yep, the nun has them for like a little bit. If you've seen the movie. Right. Because it's in the same world. All right. So last question. Ichabod Crane is the protagonist in which classic ghost story? Nice. So the spooky trivia podium. So it's going to show us third place is Coffee Star. Second place is Alyssa. And first place, Jill and Stella. Yay. I'm going to stop sharing. That's really exciting. Okay. Let me just go to, I guess I have the trivia prizes. So I'm going to just share my screen again, actually. Or am I? Oops. Okay. So I will reveal the prizes in the most exciting way possible that I could come up with. Okay. So I'm going to just share my screen. Oh no, quick, don't look at the side where it tells you. Oh, it's very slow. Okay, so the spooky trivia prizes. So third place was that Copy Star? You remember? I think that was you. You win a $5 gift card to a bookstore of your choice, which will obviously be Biblioasis, and pre-order swag. Second place was Alyssa. My memory is awful. Sorry, guys. You win a $10 gift card to a bookstore of your choice. Could be Amazon, and some pre-order swag and Halloween goodies. So I was going to pick up more Halloween goodies, but I can show you some of the stuff that I've picked up so far. I've got these pencils that I picked up while shopping with a friend, I think you guys just saw in the chat too. And then I have these spooky socks and pumpkin socks too. I'm just throwing all that in the boxes. All right, and then first place is a signed hardcover copy of the Ghosts of Thorwald Place, some pre-order swag, and some Halloween goodies all thrown in a bag together. So that goes to Stella and Jill. Awesome. Okay, I'm just gonna stop sharing for a second, make sure that I'm not jumping ahead wrong. Okay. I'm not sharing my screen, right? I don't want you to see my really weirdly typed up notes. Okay. All right, so I think what we're going to do next is we're going to do the spooky selfie contest. So if any of you are on my social media, you will have seen that I had a spooky selfie in an elevator contest that was running on Instagram, but you could also email me your submissions. And I also, actually, you all registered for this, so you would have seen that in the registration package. Okay. So again, I'm going to share my screen. This feels so weird how quiet it is. I think my background illustrations are really slowing down my PowerPoint. All right, so spooky selfie in an elevator contest. So first contestant is this one. I'm not going to say who it is, but I know who it is, so that we can maybe blindly vote. I don't know if it's going to be blindly if you know who the person is, even with the mask on. All right, so this is number one. I'll let you take your notes and get your judging cards out handy. I'm actually going to make a poll at the very end, so just keep it in your mind. Okay, this is number two. Okay. Number three. Number four. Number five. And number six. I was gonna do five, but I only got 6 submissions, and I didn't want to have the whole emotional turmoil of dropping one person off. So I'll make everybody else vote. Okay. So here we go. Here's all of them, and I'm just gonna open the polls. And I'm gonna open the poll, and you can just vote for whichever one that you think either wins the funniest, spookiest, most creative, or which one you think is the best. I don't know. Best is a broad term. Oops. Make sure they do. Okay. Awesome. So drum roll. The winner is number 6, which is right here. So that is, I think I can say the name. I'm going to share the results. So that is Amanda Wheatley. Everyone saw the results, right? So you don't think I'm lying. Okay. So the spooky elevator selfie prizes. Okay, I didn't actually do a draw yet for the winner, but I'm going to do random number between 1 and 6 on Google. I've done this before. Oops. And then, okay. So for the random draw, who's the winner? The winner is number 2. Who's number 2? Oh, so Reagan, I don't even think she's here tonight. All right, so she wins a $20 gift card and some pre-order swag. And then for the winner of the best one, they win a signed hardcover copy of the book plus Halloween goodies. So like I'm gonna go back to the store and find some more stuff and some pre-order swag. Oh. Amanda, you didn't even Photoshop that. Yeah, I definitely believe that your head is detachable. Okay. All right. So moving on. So we have one more like contest, one that I haven't actually advertised yet. And then we're going to do the costume parade, but I don't really know if anybody dressed up except for my family because they were very supportive of me and my weirdness and my horribleness because I didn't dress up. Although I was going to be Moira Isles from the Tess Gerritsen series, and I could technically still be her because I'm dressed in black and look kind of gothy. So, all right. So the next activity before we do that is called Ghostly Encounters. Now, encounters. So what the thing is I want you to, it's kind of like, you know, when you were a kid and you would have that guessing contest where you have to guess how many jelly beans were in the jar or something like that. So I want you to try to guess how many times is the word ghost in the book, The Ghosts of Thorwald Place. So thinking cover to cover, how many times do you think that word ghost is said in it, is printed in the book from cover to cover? And things to consider would be words that have ghost in them that isn't actually just the word ghost. So ghostly or ghosts plural. And so what I want you to do is I just put in the chat, it is a sorry, I was getting a text for something. It is a Google form, so be sure to use your email address and to put in your guess. And so the prize goes to the person who has the closest correct answer without actually going over. So yeah. I'm just going to stop sharing my screen just for a few seconds and see if I can send somebody a link to come in. And so can everybody access that Google form? All right, just while I'm, yep, see some nods, awesome. I'll give you a couple of more seconds, I guess. I'm going to bed. Okay, awesome. So we have 22 people have submitted. I have the answer here in this cute card that I made for myself. So, because I could not remember the single number to save my life. Okay. It's interesting to see none of you cheated. I'm so proud of you guys. My sister and I were debating, like, what do we do if people cheat? Because if you, okay, so I'm closing the the answers now, but you could have just checked the ebook if you had it. Anyhow, okay, so I'm just going to rank the orders. Actually, I don't even need to rank it. Ooh, there's some really close ones. Okay, so we have a winner, and it is, so the answer, I'll tell you the answer first. So it's 332 times the word ghost is said. And the reason why it's so high is because if you have looked at a print book in a while, at the top, it does have the title on the second, on every other page. So a lot of you did guess very, very high. So you were probably likely taking that into account, Alexandra, when you guessed 1,500. You're so cute. Anyway, yeah, so the answer was 332, and that was 55 ghosts, 273 ghosts, and 3 ghostlies, and 1 ghosts possessive. So, and the winner is Sandra Fielder. So, yeah. And so I'm going to put up the slide for the prize. Oops, share the screen again. Thanks. Awesome. And so the answer is, I said it already. And the prize is a $10 gift card and some pre-order swag. So a gift card to, so I'll be reaching out to people after this, because I do have your contact information from Eventbrite. So I'll reach out if you want to like ask what bookstore that you would like. And it can be Amazon if you want, but I know a lot of people prefer to go to specific independent bookstores. All right. So last but maybe least, I don't know, is the costume parade. So I'm going to stop sharing again. All right, so who here dressed up? I can already see. Okay, so who wants to go first? You can either raise your hand or just turn on your microphone. Jenny. Okay, Jenny, do you want to go first? Because I don't know if you can keep that on your head for a super long time. I know Jenny because when I was at Windsor, and when I lived in Windsor and worked at University of Windsor, she was the co-op student for 8 months, I think, when I first started. Jenny, are you good? Do you want to like tell us what you are, or?
Sure. So my dog is actually chewing on the cat head, but I'm the cat in the hat, and he's literally behind me, chewing. I'm so sorry, chewing on the head. I tried my best, but yeah, no, this is really fun. It's my cat in the hat. I do have the body, but as you can see how hard it was to get the head on. Anyway, I hope that was acceptable. So I chose the cat in the hat because, I mean, who doesn't love a little Dr. Seuss?
Definitely, I love it.
I'm gonna leave it off because Manuel is a little bit excited. And here.
As he should be, because you're a cat.
Oh no, it's because of my dog. Yeah. Anyway,
All
good to
right.
see you.
Yeah, it's good to see you too.
Yay.
Great. Anybody else have a costume they want to share? Jill, what happened with your... It's okay. I'm not going to put you on the spot. You said you were going to dress up. Okay.
That's here now.
You didn't unmute me, right?
You
Oh, Mom, yep, we can hear you.
Oh, here. Hi. I'm
Okay.
going to let everybody guess who I am. Stop laughing, Helen. Iconic figure. I read all the books from between ages 8 and 14. So I guess everybody knows who I am.
Anne of Green Gables. I don't know if the Americans will necessarily know.
Well, Lucy Maud Montgomery is a famous Canadian author. And it's kind of comparable, I guess, to Laura Ingalls Wilder, Little House on the Prairies, if we want to put it in the American context. Anyway, and here's my partner in crime here. And he is, figure that one out, Helen.
Who? I have no idea.
What's my favorite show, Helen?
Oh yeah. I think you made me guess that a couple of days ago and I still don't remember.
The Walking Dead.
Oh, okay. Rick Grimes. Okay. Cool.
Rick, yes.
I thought it was someone from Anne of Green Gables for some reason. I guess Farm Boy or something.
Diametrically opposite ends of the spectrum, Helen.
Okay, so my friend Amanda wants you to know, Mom, that her great-great-grandma was best friends with Lucy Maud Montgomery.
Whoa. Is that Amanda Wheatley or Amanda Wiley?
Amanda Wheatley.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I learned this a few years ago because my family comes from Prince Edward Island and they grew up together as best friends.
How exciting. Fun stuff.
Really cool.
Well, we've been there and we've seen the production and we've been to the house and really beautiful, beautiful area. Remember, Helen, you were a little girl when we went? Yeah. Well, who else is there, I guess, Helen? Let you carry it off.
Okay. So anybody else want to be judged?
I will be judged. If you can't figure out what I am Arthur Reed. And of course, you know, Arthur Reed loves to read. So the story of my unfortunate death is that I was reading in the library when a hurricane hit Elwood City and I got killed by a stack of books falling on my head. So I am Arthur Reed from the mixtape Arthur meme, if you've seen it on the internet. That's kind of what I was going for.
Yes, Jen. Oh my gosh, having fun isn't hard when you've got a library card, but it can be hard. Crushed by books. All right, anyone else have a costume they want to share?
I had enough time to get supper before coming back to the computer, so.
All right. Okay, so we've got 3 contestants for the grand costume prize. Or actually, no, wait, 4. Sorry, Dad.
Sure.
Rick Grimes counts 2. Sorry. Anywho, so I'm going to share. I made another. Let me just share the link for voting for this one as well. So you just pick whichever one you think is your favorite. I'm going to put it in the chat. It does ask for your email. I should have just put it in. It doesn't really matter. I won't be contacting you through this. Waiting a couple more seconds while people think. Oh no, it looks like we have a tie. Okay, anybody else last minute voting? Oh. Okay, that didn't go to the people who were tied. Okay. That was useless. Thank you, random person. No, I'm just kidding. Okay. Yeah, so we've got a tie. I can share my screen so you, oh, no, we have a winner. Sorry. We have a winner, guys. I'm just gonna share my screen so you don't think I'm lying. Awesome. So we have a winner, Arthur.
Sure.
Arthur won the top prize for the favorite costume. So making those ears and having a backdrop did help Alexandra. Awesome. She was struggling, having a big struggle because she made the ears, but then she was using the background. You know how Zoom has different backgrounds, but then it would make the ears disappear, and then she just looked like a weirdo with big glasses. All right. Oh, wow. So that was basically all the activities that I had planned. I guess I thought it would take longer. But yeah, so thank you everybody for coming. And I'm just going to stick around if you want to chat, I guess. But that was like the formal activities of the day. Oh, and Lexi has a question. If you would like to ask it, is it for the group? Is it for me? Who knows? Let's find out. Okay. Lexi? Oh, no, it's not Lexi. Do you write all your books in present tense? No. I wrote this one in present tense because it was from the perspective of a ghost. So, and I didn't want, like, you know, because theoretically any book that's being written in past tense, you know, it's somebody giving you like talking about their past, but I wanted it to kind of have that immediacy to it that you see with present tense. And you don't know what's going to happen to her spirit later on. And also I've noticed a lot of psychological thrillers and like domestic suspenses and those types tend to be in present tense nowadays anyway. So yeah. Thank you for coming. I see some people are.
Now you could say something.
Helen, it's your old uncle.
Hi.
You're doing a great job.
Oh, thank you. Did you attend via the phone?
Yeah, I was impressed by the questions that I got 0 right.
Oh, you got to participate. That's so awesome. That's my uncle. He doesn't have a computer or internet, so his friend. Thank you.
Thanks for everything and enjoying it.
Thank you.
Okay, love you.
Love you too. Bye.
Bye.
Or not bye. I guess you'd probably still listen, but that's really cute. I'm glad you made it. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for that question, Lexi. Yeah, so I guess that's pretty much it. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. Well, to everybody, I already gave a bunch of thank yous, but I also want to say thank you to my sister for helping me with tonight. I bugged her on Zoom to test Zoom because at my work we use WebEx, so I'm really not super familiar with Zoom, even though I did do a couple of webinars, but I seem to forget every time. As soon as a couple of days pass, I forget how to use technology. So thank you very much for helping me. And it was great. It's great seeing everybody. But yeah, if you want to like chat or be a little bit more casual at this point, I might stop recording. So thank you everyone for coming.